Would you actually think of, okay, not you, but you can go ahead and talk to your founders about it and your partners. Would you guys think of doing like a Unity, special Unity 3D tech school? I don't know.
We already have a yearly developer conference. It's called Unite. We've had it 3 years in a row. We will be having it again. We're finalizing the dates and location now, so announcement soon. As far as a formal school, maybe not. I don't know. That sounds a little bit far out there. As far as a authorized Unity developer or some kind of badge certification, that's a bit more likely. We're still on the fence about exactly how to go about that. Our main focus needs to be on the tool and technology, and again, trying to focus on doing one thing and doing it well. We haven't yet had the bandwidth to think about that. Now, we are working with external software partners, reseller partners, Noesis Interactive for one that's in Santa Cruz in California, and they're creating courseware and student learning materials. Or Mirax is a reseller we have in Taiwan who's developing a Unity training center for people in the region to go to and get training. So we're working with external partners to develop schools and materials external. We're not yet ready to take that on ourselves because that's a bit too much of a distraction from our core focus right now. But down the line, that's obviously something that we'd like to see so that there's folks have a way to get formal education. And of course, books, third-party training sites, things like that, we're also supporting by offering engineering time and support. But again, not yet internally as our own project.
Okay, great. So I'm going to get ready to wrap this interview up because I'm kind of wondering about the time thing. But what I want to do is, Tom and Mario, is there any last questions or things? Or Tom, did you want to mention that I didn't cover?
Well, first let me ask Mario, and then we'll see if he hits on any other spots that we didn't cover yet. But go for it, Mario.
Well, I'm interested in your what's your great coverage about the small game developers. As you said, you come from the center direction. Have you anything planned for them in the future which is concrete, like something on the internet, e-learning courses or something?
So, again, from us, we're going to continue to make tutorials and example projects and resources available for free off of our website. But, again, I'll mention them again, Noesis Interactive is creating a fantastic set of courseware for instructors to adopt so that they're going to be teaching a course, it's video material. And then they're also going to be working on something that's more direct to developers. So we're working on our own training materials and whatnot that are going to be free. And then we're partnering with external folks that are creating both free and paid for content of all different levels. So I just posted on Facebook, there's another Unity focused book on the way. I can't mention them publicly, but I believe there are at least 2 others in negotiation and finalization right now. So ourselves, we're going to maintain that free material that we're going to put off of our website, and we're going to work with other partners to do books, video materials, and things like that, so that there's a healthy learning ecosystem around our product.
Wow. Cool. I actually looked at some of the YouTube stuff.
Unity is really fast in development. Unity is really fast in development. You've jumped now from Unity 2.6.1 to Unity 3 in the course of the summer. Will there be any problems from someone merging to this new version?
Well, in general, the answer to that is no. We want to make the upgrade process as painless as possible. Quote, it just works. Now, part of this upgrade is that we are updating the version of Mono that we include, which is the basis of our script engine. And with that come a lot of performance improvements and functionality improvements. And so along the way, there may need to be some content changes because the new Mono version is a pretty significant upgrade for us. So there might be some tweaks that are needed, but with those tweaks will come a lot better performance, a lot more flexibility, and a lot more power. So we're hoping to minimize those, and hopefully we can strategize on how to make the process even smoother than we see today. So possibly some small glitches, but those small glitches come with a huge benefit for folks that want to go through them. Because again, we want to try and keep it as painless as possible.
One last question. You said Unity 3 will be more of all, more features, whatever. Will the Unity Basic will Unity Basic have more features too, or will they be limited to the Pro versions?
Well, we're adding a lot of new features. Some will be Pro only, some will be available in both products. Now, we haven't announced the final feature split there, because we're still deciding. You know, a lot of times what happens is we add new features to the Pro product, and that means a bit of a trickle-down effect. So some that were Pro only before will be made available in both products. So one example that we have committed to publicly that's the iPhone specific is the ability to access custom Objective-C code that you add to the Xcode project. Currently is available in the top tier license only. We're going to make that available in both licenses in 3.0. This was done as a bit of a play towards the iPhone OS 4 terms of service change, but it's a nice benefit for developers nonetheless. But around some of the more desktop and web-oriented features, you know, when we're talking about light mapping and occlusion culling, debugger, you know, things like that, some of those, like the debugger, feel like a natural for both. We haven't committed to that yet publicly, but I mean, clearly that's something you really want to have in both tools. But we'll see how the feature split comes, but we want to add some new stuff to both products. Otherwise, you know, there's no real incentive for folks to upgrade on the free version. And while it's free, that doesn't mean we don't value those customers, right? We value them as much as we do anyone else, because those are people that maybe haven't spent money today, but will upgrade later by adding on iPhone or Android support, or by going to Pro. So we definitely value those folks and want to give them something new, just like we do our Pro users.
Okay, thank you.
Great questions, Mario. What about you? Did you want to add anything?
No, we kind of tapped into the one right there that I wanted to drive home, and that we have a lot of developers that are concerned that, well, you know, you put out Unity free, and that means we don't care about the indie or small scale developers anymore. And that's just not true. You know, we made Unity free because, again, democratization of game development, putting power in everybody's hands. And we want those people on board, and we value them just like any other developer that we have. Yeah, we do need to show some extra love to those that have paid for the product, our Pro users. And we're trying to find ways to do that. How do we handle that on the forums? By making sure they get their questions answered. And we've heard some groans and complaints as the user base has grown, and maybe a bit faster than our ability to support everybody. But we value all of those users, and that was the main point I wanted to touch on. That just because it's a free product doesn't mean we don't care about those folks. We want to give new features to both versions of our license, as we feel that everybody out there is important to support and offer functionality to. So he hit it nicely. If that was the perfect product pitch that I could have pre-planned, it probably would have been very similar to that. So that was my last point I wanted to make.
Perfect, Mario, you're the man.
Thanks, Mario.
Okay, thanks, Mario, and thank you so much for having Mario join in.
Sure, happy to do it.
This is great. Okay, so this is the Android PR Gal. We're going to sign off now, but before we do, guys, in synchronous form, could you please for me go, what's up, Android?
What's up, Android?
Okay, so we're going to be seeing Tom at 5 o'clock this afternoon, and I'll be live streaming it or taping it, whatever this technology can let me do. And thank you so much, Tom Higgins from Unity 3D Project Evangelist.
Thanks for having me.
And Mario Hachemer in Frankfurt, up and coming new game developer.
Awesome.
Bye bye. Cheers.